Hi everyone, it's Justina, also known as That Woman Blockchain on Twitter, and I'm coming to you from the World Blockchain Summit, and I'm here with Claire. Hey Claire, how's it going?
Hi, good. It's great to meet you. Hi everyone, I'm Claire. I work with IoTex and I am the ecosystem marketing lead for IoTex.
Amazing. And Claire, why don't you tell everybody about what you guys do?
Yes, so IoTex is a layer 1 blockchain network and it's specifically IoT focused. So what this means is that IoTex is working on connecting the real world to Web3 and it's doing so in a secure way, a private way, and a user-first, a user-centric model. So what this means is that IoTex is able to connect real-world devices, smart devices. Picture things in your smart home like speakers, phones, locks, keys, everything, all the way up to enterprise level, manufacturing, cars, big smart devices. And it's taking data from those devices that you are actually owning that data and putting it onto the blockchain. And it does this through a concept that IoTex is calling machine-fi. So machines are predicted to outnumber humans 10 to 1 by the year 2030, and the machine economy is expected to be a $12 trillion industry. So right now, the question that IoTex is trying to answer is who will own these machines and who will own the data that they produce and the value that they generate. So IoTex makes it possible for users to control, own, and monetize from their data from these smart devices. So right now, IoTex has 2 devices specifically already out there. You can buy them now. The first product is UCam, which is a home security camera that sends data to the blockchain and uses private keys. So you are in complete control of your video footage. The manufacturer doesn't own that data. IoTex doesn't own that data. It keeps it secure for you and for you only. The second device is really cool, and I'm really excited to show you guys this. This is Pebble, our Pebble tracker, which is an IoT device that right now is tracking real data, real environmental data. So it's tracking location, motion, light, air quality, all of these different sensors, all in this little Pebble tracker. And what makes it very cool is that it's secure at the hardware level, the firmware level, all the way to the software level as it sends data to the blockchain. So this is a really unique device because users can now prove their real world activity and prove their actions through this device and put it directly onto the blockchain. So IoTex is a layer 1 network, but our layer 2 real world data oracle sends data from these hardware devices to the blockchain. And it does so in a secure and private way, meaning that you as the user really have control over your data and you have control over how it's used. And you can choose to opt into apps that will use this data as inputs, or you can choose to opt out and keep it for yourself. It's really the whole point is having user control and user ownership over this data. And that's what IoTex is trying to do. So with machine-fi, IoTex has launched a machine-fi portal, which is a direct way for you to connect your devices to the IoTex network. So right now, you can go to the machine-fi portal, you can connect your wallet, and if you have a Pebble tracker, you would connect your Pebble tracker device, and it would start automatically sending data from that device to the blockchain, and you're actually able to visualize all that data on the portal. So you can see your location, the map, you can see air quality over time, you can see temperature over time, and it's tracking all of these inputs, and you, again, are the sole owner of these inputs, and you can choose what to do with that. So what IoTex right now really is making this open call to developers, where we really want apps to launch on top of IoTex or integrate with IoTex, where this data can be used as inputs in apps. So one app that's launching, they have their beta launch this week, it's called Health Blocks, where you can actually connect your fitness wearables to the IoTex blockchain to earn cryptocurrency and to earn what they're calling their health token. So imagine you had your Pebble tracker and you have your Pebble tracker that's tracking data and you're proving your everyday activities. So say you walk 1,000 steps a day and you're proving that you do that for a week straight or a month straight. You can actually earn rewards for doing so. So Health Blocks, their initiative, they're a team of healthcare experts really working towards preventative health. So they're using IoTex and they're using cryptocurrency to achieve those goals. And they're helping people earn better lifestyles. So it's called Live to Earn, but they're really trying to help people improve their lifestyles, improve their quality of well-being, and expand their life expectancy. They're really trying to tackle all of these goals, and IoTeX is making it possible to do that. So that's one use case I'm really excited for with Machine 5. Another use case that I'm very excited for as well is called MotoDB, and they're currently doing a pilot program with IoTeX, and they're using Pebble Tracker. So if you were to put a Pebble Tracker in these cars, the Pebble Tracker is tracking all of the car's data. And so the owner of that car, the user that this Pebble is registered to, will be able to control that data and choose what to do with it. So imagine if you could have this in your car, you can prove that you're driving safely and you're following the speed limits, and maybe you're using a smart car, so you're driving sustainably. Maybe an insurance company, a Web3 insurance company, could reward you for driving safely. And the reality is IoTeX is solving this issue of making it verifiable data, tamper-proof data, and it's in real time. So the whole point is that we want to make it secure, we want to make it tamper-proof, and make sure that this is reliable data that's being sent to the blockchain, from hardware to the software level. So I think that's a really exciting use case in the mobility sector, and there's a lot of other different pilots that IoTeX is doing, trying to tackle these different areas. So another one in healthcare and with supply chain tracking, IoTeX is doing a medical supply asset tracking pilot program where they're tracking different things across hospitals. So if you could track defibrillators or ventilators, or making sure you have all of the machines that you need in real time. Imagine if you could do vaccine tracking and do that efficiently and do that to save costs, and eventually you do save lives with matters like that when you're dealing with supply chain in such critical care. I think that's a really interesting use case that we're going to see on why this actually matters and what the blockchain, why IoT needs to be connected to blockchain.
Yeah, I agree, because that's, I think, one of the biggest use cases for blockchain anyway, is the supply chain. So now if you're actually giving it the physical aspect of the proof, you're helping that advance in the physical world.
Right, exactly. And what IoTeX really focuses on is this real-time data. So it's going to be really cool. Chainlink is actually natively integrating with IoTeX soon, and what that's going to be really interesting to see is that Chainlink provides historical data. So if you match that with IoTex's real-time data, it provides that context you need. So imagine in the farming industry and agriculture, if you wanted to look at the weather over a past year compared to what it is today, you could use that historical data from Chainlink over the past year, and your Pebble Tracker may be able to tell what it is today to optimize that sort of process. And you can apply that again across so many different use cases in so many different industries. And that's what's really exciting, is that we're not only trying to say let's connect smart devices to the blockchain, but we're giving it a purpose and we're giving it a use case behind it. And all the way from fixing things like supply chain, but also improving everyday lives, like with improving your physical activity, or gamifying experiences. There's a lot of different areas that can be covered by connecting these smart devices and just making you the owner of your data. And I think that's something I'm really excited about. I have a big interest in studying cybersecurity, and right now Web2 IoT and the current IoT industry, it's not incentivized to treat each other active. There's no standards in place for security. A lot of IoT devices are very insecure, and they're very, your data might not be private, or it's vulnerable to hacks. And there's a lot of issues right now that need to be solved. And so effectively tackling these issues and using blockchain as a method to do so is really, really interesting to me. And IoTeX as a team is very research focused. We're trying to develop standards for the industry as a whole. So IoTeX right now is leading an IEEE group with a couple other industry experts, Bosch, Lockheed, Ericsson. There's a couple other enterprises on this working group as well that's actively tackling these issues. So the working group is actually for the identity of things. So when machines are on the blockchain, making sure that they have a proper identity and that this is done in a standardized process so that machines can effectively communicate with each other and the humans who own those machines can communicate effectively. And it's all done in a way that you can understand across networks. We don't want IoTeX to be this walled garden solution. We want composability. We want developers to take this across blockchains, to apply this to all devices, really with that Web3 mentality of making it possible for human-to-machine interaction, but also machine-to-machine interaction, and making sure that there's standards to do so. And so IoTeX is just really focused on that research side of things as well, and pushing those sort of initiatives forward.
And maybe for those who don't understand in the audience what an oracle is and what oracle data is, could you get into that a little bit, just to give a brief overview, just to put it all together,
Yes, so I'll use Pebble as an example, because I think that's a really good way to understand how it goes from the hardware to the software. So Pebble has secure hardware where the Pebble itself has a private key that the manufacturers don't know, the IoTeX doesn't know, and you as the user technically don't know, where this device is just inherently secure in itself. It doesn't require human interaction to become secure. Kind of like standard IoT right now, you need to reset the default password, or you need to do something to make it secure. That's not the case with secure hardware at that level. So when you now go to the Oracle level, you need the hardware to now communicate to the software. This wants to send its data to the blockchain, and it needs a method to do so. And that's where the Oracle comes in. So that is our layer 2. So IoTeX is the layer 1. It's the network level where everything is built upon. And this data Oracle is the layer 2. So the Oracle rests upon the network. And that's the data communication layer. That's how these machines communicate their data to the network. That's how data is communicated across different machines. And that's kind of the fluid flow, I guess would be a nice way to visualize it. And then it ends up on the blockchain as that final step in the process. So the Oracle, really, to think of it, is the link between the hardware level and the blockchain at the software level. It's the way that data is sent and the way that data is communicated and almost spoken, making sure that it understands that.
And who are you bringing in to work on these standards that you're looking to, when you're looking at machine to machine? Are you working with, who are you working with?
Yes, so in the Identity of Things working group, there's a couple different enterprises, Lockheed, Martin, Ericsson, a couple others, Bosch is part of it, and a couple other enterprises. I can't think of the names right now, but they are all taking a part of this. They all know the importance of pushing these standards forward and making space for all of these enterprise level corporations to actually make sure that their machines can communicate with this as well. So it's really about having those conversations, and also all the way down to the developer level, where we want to make it really easy for developers, non-IoTeX developers, to bring their apps to the IoTeX blockchain, and do so in a way we're EVM compatible, we're Web3 compatible, we can build Solidity-based apps on IoTeX. So making it easy for builders and really creative innovators to start bringing their ideas to life, and then we're also making sure it's just done in a standardized way, and that it's done in a way that the communication can flow cross-chain and really open up this ecosystem.
And what about the research side of things? What is the focus of the research that you're doing?
Yes, so the research really is about human-to-machine communication and machine-to-machine communication. So the research that we're doing especially focuses on what we're calling DID for machines, so decentralized identity for machines, so that IoT devices have their own identity on the network. DID is a concept across other blockchains as well, making sure that you have your identity that belongs to you and can be applied across blockchains. It's almost like your login, like it belongs to you and it's you. You're proving that you're the one doing those actions. So when it comes to machines, smart devices, they need a way to communicate that they are who they say they are, essentially. Where the Pebble, it's this Pebble, and you know that the Pebble is communicating that data because it has an identity. So that's a concept right now that's being researched, it's being studied by IoTeX, and we're trying to create, not only saying that this is how we think it should be done, but making sure that it's, we're taking into account what all of these enterprises are saying and how they believe that machines should have identity. So it's really, the title of it is the Identity of Things.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to meet you, a pleasure to hear you speak, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. It was so great to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Really great.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.